Halo the Master Chief Collection. We're back, and Halo Anniversary for Combat Evolved has released. And we're going to quickly take a look at one of the missions, and then we're going to do some of the multiplayer to show off what this game is like on PC. Kind of going over some of the new features and everything like that. So here are like the skulls that are available and everything like that. We obviously have Grunt Birthday Party, which is a lot of fun. And yeah, so this is releasing the classic original Halo title that started it all. Finally available on PC with the anniversary version in Halo the Master Chief Collection, which is on Game Pass. And yeah, kind of awesome. So these features are also going to be available on the Xbox version as well. So the new features. So they added a new Spartan customization 3D model viewer. So they kind of changed up the look of that a little bit. So you can now toggle between CEA and CE Classic Audio for multiplayer. So you just go into the audio settings and you're able to change between the anniversary music or the original music, depending on what you want to play. Personally, I think the anniversary music sounds fine, but you know, I'm playing on Classic right now in case you are wondering, because that's the default for it. And here it is. Hopefully the video capture is running well, because this game is actually running beautifully. So I've been playing this obviously on an Xbox for a long time, but it is quite magical to see it on PC and, you know, seeing this Halo experience. And hopefully, like, I know for a lot of people this might be their first time seeing this game, and it truly is just an absolute wonderful masterpiece. Definitely a game of its time, but with the anniversary update, it looks significantly better in terms of visuals and everything like that, and I think that's kind of important. So obviously mouse and keyboard support, customizable key bindings, variable frame rate, so VFR support, which is an experimental feature at this point, adjustable FOV, ultra-wide and alternate resolution support, and text chat support. So that's kind of the gist of the main features when it comes to this experience and what it is like here. So I'm hoping I also don't maybe spoil something for people that are looking at playing this game for the very first time, you know, because it's going to be a really neat sort of experience. So we did mention kind of how you're able to switch the audio tracks, which is a requested feature for a long time by people. Hooray! So we'll just kind of go over that quickly, and you can just open up the settings. And you can see that right here you can change between classic or modern, and this one is for the multiplayer game sounds. So that's kind of a cool option, right, that you're able to adjust that. And then we've also got like the other PC settings, just so you can get a look at what that's like. And then you can see like the gamepad, and you can configure and everything like that. So each element, well, obviously gamepad or mouse and keyboard support, right? And then we already looked at audio, and then you see the gameplay adjustments and stuff like that. So number of options in regards to basically switching things up. And another cool aspect, I don't know if you've noticed that, but you can switch between the enhanced visuals, like the anniversary edition, or you can see the game like how it looked back in the day, and you can switch on the fly instantly, which is kind of a crazy sort of thing to do, in my opinion. It's really quite insane how much the game has changed visually between the two versions, and I think the anniversary edition still holds up beautifully well with the improved resolution visuals. That being said, there is something that's still truly classic about the original way this game looked, the old aesthetics, and I would suggest maybe doing a playthrough in both versions, or switching between the two as you play, because that iconic sort of art style, again, really does hold up with the resolution boost. I think this looks fantastic. I mean, it's obviously not as insane as that, right? I mean, but you know, at the same time, it is something that is worth seeing from a preservation standpoint. You know, the changes in the character models and everything like that, and how the engines are running. It's kind of a stark difference. Oh, you see the foot? Oh, the foot's actually clipping through the ground. That's weird. But yeah, this is truly a classic Halo experience. It's a fantastic campaign if you've never played it. Seriously, one of the greatest campaigns ever. And it's just, it's beautiful to be able to play this on PC and to have new people that are able to experience this classic game. And not only the campaign aspect of it, but also the multiplayer, which we're going to switch to shortly here as the timer goes along, just so that we have a good showcase of the multiplayer, because I think that's where a lot of people are going to spend their time. And I don't necessarily really want to spoil a lot of the story, because, this, again, it could be very much the first time that people are playing Halo. Like, you think of it like, oh, please, people have played it all the time, but, there's a lot of people out there that haven't really been able to experience the magic and the lore of the series. I like the ring now, but I also really like the look of the ring there. It's more like a natural thing. Big planet. Kind of crazy. You got a grenade going on there. But yeah, it's definitely really impressive to see this on PC. I mean, I think it's been running kind of well. It looks really good on the screen. Also does on the 1X though, because it's also 4K there. But yeah, the gist of what I'm saying, the fact that they're releasing these on PC is just absolutely magical. But let's switch over to the multiplayer and showcase what that gameplay is like. I also thought it was worth briefly showing off just kind of the character view model. So that definitely looks like they've changed things up about for the characters. They look interesting, more of a classic Combat Evolved style, which is interesting to me. Maybe I should go with the forest green, it looks nicer, but red and blue, yeah. Okay, let's jump into multiplayer. So this is the multiplayer portion of the experience for Combat Evolved. So it's a lot different than the other versions of Halo. It is a lot more of a pistol focused thing, just because of the precision of it and the way that it, headshots, it just nastily kills people. The pistol is really well known in Combat Evolved for being incredibly OP. And it's just like a really interesting balance using the pistol for precision. There are, of course, other weapons, and weapons are like far deadlier in this one. It's just really quite interesting. And you have to keep in mind that, for the multiplayer, that the anniversary edition of, this game's multiplayer was attached to Reach. So it's kind of already available in the game. But this one doesn't have like remastered maps, as to say. That's like this, in case you were wondering. But there is a great selection of maps, and some of the multiplayer maps are the all-time classics for Halo, the original, like, true OG multiplayer options when it comes to playing multiplayer. And in my opinion, some of them are a little bit ridiculous too, just in terms of the scale of them. They were way too big for the multiplayer of that time. Grab an overshield, which kind of makes me really quite invulnerable for a little bit as I deal with these guys. Shields be popping. That guy's a one-shot. There we go. But yeah, it's still like a really cool sort of multiplayer, in my opinion. Like a lot more sort of like floaty and crazy. Well, actually, the player models are looking really sharp with the visuals here. I quite like it. I think they look really good. You get the action going on there. It's just like it's a very different type of multiplayer that I'm not sure a lot of people are going to be used to. It is still quite, fast-paced, very action-packed, and quite gory, and it's got some neat aspects to it. There wasn't a lot of, I guess you could say, arena-type multiplayer for this one. It really was like a lot of it was focused on the big team, where you're getting things such as like, you're doing the objective playlists and large matches, you're Warthog running, you're playing on these large-scale environments. But I think the arena is also kind of fun, really frantic, and it's just like a very neat multiplayer aspect of it. This one is a little bit of an awkward map. One thing I did really like about Combat Evolved multiplayer is that the maps were not as symmetrical as they are today for multiplayer. So you get some really weird creative ones. There's like some ones that have teleporters on them, and it's quite crazy, and the spawning is like all over the place, so it's just really fast-paced action, which is kind of cool. And again, it's running quite smoothly. Matches I'm finding fast. This is a great general sort of stealth release on the platform. I'm really happy with. Wow, that was a bad grenade, teammate. Bad grenade. I'm really happy to see this one pop up and be available, because I think the multiplayer is definitely something that is worth checking out even today because it is so cool. Same with the campaign. It truly an iconic story. It's really great if you're playing, you know, not only alone, but if you have like a friend too for the co-op. I think that's a really nice option. Especially multiplayer, if you can get a group of the lads together that played back in the day, it's probably going to be nice to see it on PC finally. Because we've had it on PC before in the past. Not the Anniversary Edition, but the OG version, like what we're seeing here with these visuals. But it wasn't, like, I guess you could say quite as optimized as people would have wanted, but it has received like a lot of mods and stuff over the years. Really, I did the worst, that hurts. But yeah, I think we can jump into another one here for a little bit more time. So this is a really small, really fast-paced battling level. It's going to be kind of intense how fast people are spawning and running into one another. Jeez, okay. And yeah, another good example of kind of the teleporter style. I think there's another one, well, I know there's another one that's very similar to this, which also has like teleporters and it's multi-leveled. But it's more tiered than this. This is like very ramp focused with little tower platforms. It's kind of interesting. They remade this one a number of times, and it's just kind of crazy because you're always spawning like right in the line of sight with people, and you have to move very fast in order to be efficient and not get absolutely blasted away by enemies. See, not too bad there. Try to get the overshields. Yeah, I also like how Halo has been one of those series that has like kept the classic power-ups in the background type of thing, where you can still find them. Like we're seeing that big pink thing there if you're not noticing it in the distance. I'm trying to get to it. Not really noticing any like weapon options here. I maybe should have went for like a big team battle for showcasing the multiplayer, because that one does feel a little bit more you know, synonymous with what Combat Evolved's multiplayer was like, at least for me over the years. Although those matches they end up going on for a very long time, but they've reined them in a bit more in the Master Chief Collection, time limit wise and everything like that, which has been nice. Sometimes those could go on for ages. Oh jeez. Yeah, but yeah, generally great addition to the Chief Collection. I'm really happy with it. Halo fans should be, and people that have never experienced this kind of game will finally get a chance to play it and have a good time, hopefully. You know, you get that great campaign, excellent multiplayer added into the rotation that you can kind of like search for either, and I can't wait to see, you know, the next one, because that's going to be Halo 2's up next on the list, which is a big title. That game's return to PC as well, because that was games for Windows Live back in the day. I actually have that still. But yeah, it's just kind of really exciting because I know that one was like huge for multiplayer, as was this one, but it didn't quite have the same online, just due to the age of when that one did, well, when this one did arrive on PC. You know, and it's great to see them all included in one package. Obviously, that's just a stellar deal for these incredible experiences, and it's just fun to play. I put in some Chief hours in like almost every night, usually as like a cool down, just because it's so enjoyable, and it's nice that people are going to be experiencing, you know, a modern iteration on this, especially if they don't have access to the console platform. I don't think they should miss out on this great story, these interesting characters, and getting an idea of where it all began, because while Reach is a prequel, so that kind of kickstarts the story, I guess. Originally this was, you know, the initial story in the series. It delivers a lot of the characters for the first time, sets up the stakes and sort of almost the cliches of what the franchise is known for in terms of storytelling and the design of the levels. It was more of like an immersive kind of thing where you're looking around trying to figure out what you're doing, more exploration to it. Definitely a game of its time, and something so unique that you don't really necessarily get to enjoy these days. And I hope you enjoyed this look at you know, the classic game. And I will definitely be excited to check out Halo 2 Anniversary when that arrives. And then, of course, my favorite entry, Halo 3. And then past that, I don't know, I think they're doing Halo 3 ODST, and then Halo 4. And then we'll be jumping, obviously, into Infinite with just an absolute ton of Infinite gameplay. because I'm definitely going to be reviewing that, and I am so looking forward to seeing, what they do with that next entry as they build towards it. With the Master Chief Collection on PC throughout the year, it's really exciting time to be a Halo fan, and yeah, good fun.